Welcome to African Tales Telling Its Real channel. We have an interesting story for you today titled, The Valentine Trap, a love story that turned to tears. Valentine's Day was always a big deal for F. A hopeless romantic, she had spent the past few weeks dreaming of a perfect date, candlelit dinner, sweet surprises, and maybe even a heartfelt confession of love. When she met Tond on social media a month earlier, he seemed to be everything she had ever wanted. Handsome, wealthy, and charming, he knew exactly how to sweep a woman off her feet. Every morning, he sent her sweet messages, and every night, they exchanged voice notes that made her blush under her blankets. When he invited her out for Valentine's Day at a 5-star hotel, she felt like she was living in a dream. Her roommate, Amoka, was less convinced. F, you've never even seen this guy in person. What if he's not who he says he is, she warned. But F waved her off. Amoka, not every guy is a scammer. Some of us are just lucky to find love. She laughed, slipping into her red gown. Amoka sighed, shaking her head. At least send me his number and share your location, she insisted. F rolled her eyes but obliged. Then, with her heart full of excitement, she stepped into a taxi and texted Tond, "On my way, babe." The taxi ride felt like forever. F had imagined she would be heading to a luxurious hotel, but instead, the car turned into a quiet, remote estate far from the city. "Are you sure this is the right place?" she asked the driver nervously. He simply nodded and pointed to a large mansion ahead. As she stepped out, a security guard opened the gate without a word. Inside, the house was grand, yet eerily silent. Tond greeted her with a warm smile. "You look breathtaking," he said, pulling her close. F smiled, pushing down the uneasy feeling creeping up her spine. The dinner table was set beautifully, candles, expensive wine, and a plate of steaming food. She relaxed slightly, telling herself that this was what love looked like. Then, without warning, 3 men walked into the room. They didn't greet her. They just stared. "So, this is the girl?" one of them asked. "She looks just like the others." F's heart began to race. She turned to Tond, but his expression had changed. The warmth was gone. Instead, his lips curled into a cruel smirk. "F," he said, his voice suddenly cold, "do you love money?" Her hands trembled as she placed her glass down. I don't understand," she stammered. One of the men laughed. "Girls like you are always the easiest to catch," he said. F reached for her phone, but another man snatched it from her hand. "No need for that, sweetheart," he said, slipping it into his pocket. A chill ran down her spine. This wasn't a date. This was a trap. Back at home, Amoka was pacing nervously. Something didn't feel right. F hadn't texted her since she arrived. She dialed F's number, but instead of her friend's voice, a deep, unfamiliar one answered. "Your friend is busy," the man said. Amoka's blood ran cold. "Where is she?" "Who are you?" she screamed. The man chuckled. "She made a mistake coming here. Pray for her." Then the line went dead. Without wasting another second, Amoka called the police, giving them F's last shared location. "Please, hurry," she begged. Inside the mansion, F was pleading for her life. "Please, I'll do anything. Just let me go," she sobbed. Tond leaned in, his face inches from hers. "Too late for that, darling," he whispered. But just as one of the men reached for her, a loud bang echoed through the house. "Police! Open up!" Chaos erupted. The men scrambled, trying to escape. The front door burst open as officers stormed in. Gunshots rang out. In the confusion, F collapsed to the ground, sobbing in relief as strong arms lifted her to safety. Ton and his gang were dragged out in handcuffs, their smug faces replaced with fear. Days later, F sat in her room, staring at the floor. The reality of what had almost happened to her weighed heavily on her chest. Amoka sat beside her, holding her hand. "I should have listened to you," F whispered, tears slipping down her face. Amoka squeezed her fingers gently. "I'm just glad you're safe. Many girls don't get a second chance." As F wiped her tears, Amoka turned to her with a serious expression. "F, promise me something." F looked up. "Promise me that next time, you won't let a stranger's sweet words blind you." F nodded slowly. "I promise." And this time, she meant it. The end. Moral lesson. Not every Valentine's Day invitation is from a lover. Some are from predators. Be wise. Be safe. If you find this story inspiring, please subscribe to African Tales Telling It Real channel. Thank you.